Georgia, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Donald, Mr. President, for hosting us today in this important meeting. And I think it is an important day, a new phase, after 3 years and a half that we didn't see any kind of sign from the Russian side that there was a willing for dialogue. So something is changing, something has changed, thanks to you. Thanks also to the stalling in the battlefield, which was achieved with the bravery of Ukrainians and with the unity that we all provided to Ukraine. And the reason why I mention it is that we also have to remind that if we want to reach peace and if we want to guarantee justice, we have to do it united. So that's why it's a very good day, the one we are in. You can obviously count on Italy as it was from the beginning. We are on the side of Ukraine, and we do absolutely support your efforts towards peace. We will talk about many important topics. The first one is security guarantees, how to be sure that it won't happen again, which is the precondition of every kind of peace. I'm happy that we will discuss about that. I'm happy that we will begin from a proposal, which is the, let's say, Article 5 model, which was Italian at the beginning. So we are always ready to bring our proposals for peace, for dialogue. It's something we have to build together to guarantee peace and to defend the security of our nation. So thank you, Mr. President, for hosting us.
Thank you very much.
Oh, love her. Love her. Welcome, guys. This is Pop and Politics. It is Monday, our Monday Night Live. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. Of course, we have Yana.
Hello.
We have Nicole Bennett.
Hey.
And Shelly E.
Hi, everybody.
Right. Yes, indeed. So before we light this fire, do your part, folks. Tap that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications. Folks, as you come in, hit that like button. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience, and we appreciate the support. We're live right here on YouTube and Rumble. If you're on the go, you can catch us on Apple Podcast or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out every super chat. So drop your thoughts, show your love, and join the conversation that the mainstream media wishes didn't exist. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off. Oh, my goodness. So, of course, that was the incomparable PM of Italy, Miss Giorgia Meloni. Did I say it right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is what women in leadership look like, folks. She is phenomenal. And of course, we know that was President Trump. So he made a huge move on the global stage after a series of high-level meetings with European leaders and Ukrainian President Zelensky at the White House. Trump revealed that he personally picked up the phone and called Putin to begin arranging a direct meeting between President Putin and Zelensky. So Trump is positioning himself as the peacemaker, something the Biden administration never managed to accomplish during his 4 years of chaos and endless funding of war. Want to start off with you tonight on this, Yana. What did you think about all this today? And what PM Meloni just said?
Well, first of all, I like Giorgia Meloni in her stance on conservative values, on immigration in Europe. However, with that statement right now, I wasn't too impressed with that. It was just a bunch of talk. I mean, she expressed her love and appreciation to Trump, which is nice. But she didn't really say anything too substantial or anything that I agreed with. She said that Russia did not. This is the first time that Russia was willing to negotiate, which is not true. Russia has sat down for negotiations, especially in the beginning of the conflict in 2022, several times. And it was Zelensky who has refused any kind of terms throughout this entire time. Russia was always willing to talk this entire time.
Oh, okay. Want to get your thoughts on what Yana said, Shelley. Do you agree with her take on that exchange?
Oh, absolutely not. Let me tell you what. I don't know much about Prime Minister Meloni, but what she said to me, it sums up the overall theme, if you will, of these peace talks, right? She spoke in, I guess, like setting the stage, if you will, setting the moment. That's number one. And number two, the fact that all those European leaders were there, thanks to President Trump. You know, courage is a beautiful thing. Those European leaders came, they're standing up against the big, if you want to call him the big boogeyman, Putin or whatever, for whatever the purpose or whatever the reason is, but they know that Trump has their back, right? So they are now willing to find their spine. I applaud that because guess what? Europe has as much stake in the outcomes of Ukraine as the America does or any other country, Russia included. So Europe, these European leaders, I applaud them for standing up, even if they are doing it. Maybe they're shaking in their boots. I don't know. We didn't see that. Maybe they are. But one thing they do know, they know that they can trust in the consistency and certainly the raw courage of Donald J.
All right. Nicole, you heard what Shelley said. You heard what Yana said. Where do you stand on this?
I think it was a very interesting opening statement from her. I agree with Shelley. Having all of these European nations finally stand up and do something, we could have used this at the very beginning of this conflict, would have come in handy, but we did not have a president-in-chief, or I'm sorry, peacemaker-in-chief, who was telling people, come to the table. If everybody gets here, I'm sure we can work something out. I disagree wholeheartedly with Georgia's take on Zelensky saying that, everybody's on the side of Ukraine. That's not the way to get the peace. That is not the way to get the peace. It's going to make Russia dig in, and it's going to, all kind of fall apart. What I'm looking for from all of these nations is, unless you're Russia, unless you're Ukraine, shut up. Let them work it out. And when they get to the tough part, when you have to put needles to them, when you have to screw it down and make it kind of tough, that's when you chirp in. Don't start off everybody piling on the side of the Ukraine, because things are going to go very much left from there. I think it's a very good start. I'd like the softening of both sides of Russia, the softening of the Ukraine. I'm not really impressed with Zelensky showing up again to the White House in a t-shirt. Especially with all the money we've given him. Somebody run him past Ross Dress for Less and buy him a shirt and tie. He could at least be respectful when he comes with hat in hand. But all of that aside, these talks are going to be great. And I think Georgia did the right thing by saying, everybody's here. Let's try to get to work.
Yeah. Definitely think it was a significant day, not just for President Trump, of course, but for the world. With, these leaders coming to the White House. Of course, President Trump met with Putin over the weekend, and now he's trying to get something together with the EU and with Zelensky. As described, as Meloni described, she was a little bit off with that comment. So we do know that I think it's a little bit of both. So, the statement she said, it implied from the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022 until recently, Putin and Russia showed no genuine indications of readiness for meaningful dialogue or compromise. But they have showed some. And there are supporting references for that. But again, we've seen both sides kind of stalled, on in different time periods. But it's time for it to get settled right now. It really is. So I think she was just trying to provide President Trump some well needed or well deserved admiration for what he's done, which wasn't done in the past 4 years. Here is another surprising response to today from Harold Ford Jr. So he is here talking about how if President Trump is able to get this done, he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. And Harold Ford Jr. is a longtime Democrat. This is clip 8. Take a look.
I'm only saying I'm not saying you're saying this. My only point is I give President Trump tremendous credit for where we are. And if he is able, again, to engineer this deal, we've been saying for weeks on this show, I would be the first. I would hope you would invite me down to the White House when the president is awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, because he would absolutely deserve it.
All right. So there you have it. What are your thoughts on that, Nicole? His comment there. Do you think President Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for this?
Without question. I mean, he's brought more peace in these 7 months that he's been in office than the last 3 presidents combined, including his first term. It's to a point now where I think that every time he sits down with the leader of a nation in conflict, I think they're wanting him to help them, negotiate whatever deal they can to end the conflict. I would say maybe 2 or 3 news outlets, when I was doing research for the show, were kind of chirping at him saying, well, if it doesn't last, it shouldn't count, that kind of thing. But the truth of the matter is, the last 2 Democrat presidents couldn't even touch his level of success. This man has absolutely earned that nickname, Peacemaker in Chief.
Absolutely. And just to go back on what we were talking about as far as the Russian initiative for dialogue over the past 3 years, just wanted to get, because we always try to work in facts. There have been several times where Russia has tried to or had signaled interest in negotiations. February 2022 invasion, that's when it occurred, often on stringent terms. This is according to the Washington Post. So it looks like
every March,
yeah.
so there were several meetings in March.
Belarus was the first round. Belarus.
Yeah. And then in May of 2022, there were some talks as well.
In Turkey.
So it was constant that Russia was willing to sit down and talk.
Yeah. So there were some. Now there were, of course, on stringent terms. So, but they did show a willingness to discuss, to talk, to negotiate. Shelley, what are your thoughts on President Trump receiving the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah, of course he deserves it. He deserves it like yesterday. The criteria basically is for leaders who are promoting peace. I think it says fraternity between nations. He's done that in 7 months or so. He's done that many times over. And look, for me, let me say this on a personal note. I hold grudges. I wouldn't be able to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I wouldn't. Okay. But I don't take it from anyone who deserves it, i.e. President Donald J. Trump. Okay. So he's doing above and beyond, making these, I guess you want to call them deals, these meetings, these opportunities. And again, look, I've said from the beginning, I didn't think Putin should have invaded Ukraine, but I always say also, here we are. And I'm always at the point where if we can stop the killing, the slaughter unnecessarily, let's get them to the table. All of those stringent meetings or wannabe meetings, Zelensky didn't do this, Putin didn't do this. Okay, those may be true. No one's taking that from either side, or the do's, the don'ts, the bad, the wrong, good or whatever. But here we are now. President Trump is putting forth the effort, and both of them have shown up. Whether or not Zelensky had on a suit, to me, that's irrelevant. I get it, the first time, whatever. But ultimately, if he wears a suit or not, that does not mean that people will or will stop being killed. The suit doesn't make a difference ultimately in the big picture of lives being saved and wars being stopped or not even started. That's where I'm looking big picture, macro. I'm standing with Donald J.
Yeah, I agree too. But I do want to say, I think it is, a lot of things, that go on with these meetings are all about the visual. And these people, all of them involved did not get into where they are without being some type of negotiator, some type of leader. And part of that, they give signals with certain things. And I was disgusted when I saw Zelensky pull up initially to meet with the other EU leaders, and he had a t-shirt on. I mean, to me, it's him saying, you know what, you don't deserve me wearing a suit and tie. I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah, President Trump mentioned something about that the last time I was here, but you know what? He's not the boss of me. He can't tell me what to do, and he's not worthy of me dressing in a dignified manner. That's what it looked, and that's what a lot of people took it as. And so it has been noted, news reports are that President Trump told him he could not come to the White House without a suit on. And so that's why he was late. He was over 15 minutes late to the White House today. And they said it was actually because he had to get a suit. Did you hear?
Somebody got him a jacket to go.
Right, he got a jacket on.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Yeah, that was I couldn't understand what he was wearing exactly. It was some kind of all black, some sort of attire that it was unusual, definitely. And I just thought, okay, he's just being his showman self. That's what he is. He's an actor, so he's dressing up for different roles. And I just wanted to comment on why the European leaders were there. To me, it just looked like they are Zelensky's support group. He's not an independent entity, so he needs them there. And also, they're trying to sway Trump away from Putin, away from Russia, because they got really worried looking at that last meeting in Alaska. So I think that was also that. Also, I mean, you can also say, these are sponsors of Ukraine. Zelensky is just the spokesperson. And also, I read that they were supposed to have dinner. Zelensky was going to have dinner with Trump, and it got canceled because things didn't go as amicably as expected.
You seem giddy about that, Yana.
I mean, Zelensky, he needs to go. Like, he is messing this up. Like, we could have had peace a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't heard that. I know they said that the meeting ran much longer than anticipated. They moved it to the Oval Office. I think they just stopped maybe around 8. I think they said. Now I hadn't heard they were supposed to have dinner. I hadn't heard anything about that. As far as the EU leaders, I mean, it's the EU. I mean, aren't they all kind of automatically one sort of general block? When you think about it, so I wouldn't expect
they've been sponsoring Ukraine this whole time. So
yeah,
of course they are stakeholders in this.
Right, yeah. And here's in this next clip, this is President Trump talking about he's trying to negotiate this trilateral meeting between himself, Putin, and Zelensky. This is clip 4.
I spoke indirectly with President Putin today. We're going to call President Putin right after this meeting. I'm sure we're going to have a solid meeting, good meeting, maybe a great meeting, and we're going to try and work out a trilat after that and see if we can get it finished, put this to sleep, because this is not since the Second World War has there been anything like this. So I'm honored to welcome NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who's a great gentleman, great political leader in Europe generally, but now he's the...
All right. So there we have it. Before I get you ladies to comment, we do have some super chatters. Want to thank you all so much. All right. We have Kung Fu CJ, number 1 super chatter. Yes, indeed. Says, hello, Pop and Politics family. Love you all. We love you back, Kung Fu CJ. Thank you so much. All right. Red Bucks, thank you for your super sticker. Appreciate you.
Thank
you.
Yes,
indeed. Brown Eyes with the $5 super chat. So Shelly, you are wearing that hat, girl.
Yes,
Thank
she
you so
is.
much.
Mhm.
Yes, she is. Thank you all so much. We appreciate each and every super chat. It keeps us online, folks. We're doing this. We're independent here, independent media, independent pundits, and we really appreciate each and every super chat. We've been doing this here. Our goal is to reach 200,000 subscribers by Labor Day. We need your help, please. As you all come in, hit that like button. It helps to get us out to a wider audience, and subscribe. We need you guys. Share this in a DM, share it on your timeline, share it on your social media. We want to get the word out about us here and get people to subscribe. All right. Speaking of that, we also have merch, folks. We have a store right here on our YouTube page. Here at Pop in Politics, you can get all types of merch. Our top t-shirt right now is the one that says unapologetically American. That's all of us. Yes, we love America. We're America first patriots here, unapologetically American, and it's a great shirt. You know, it says enough, but not too much. So definitely check out that on our YouTube page here under our merch store for Pop in Politics. All right. So again, we have this next meeting coming up. Do you think this is going to happen, Yana? This meeting between Zelensky, Putin, and Trump?
Do I think it's going to happen? I hope so. But it's going to be very interesting if it does happen, because I mean, we can just see how Zelensky is behaving, that he is not conceding at all, that he doesn't even acknowledge that Crimea is part of Russia. Like, out of all the places, not even Crimea. So he is not even close to accepting his position in this conflict. And I don't know, it's going to be very interesting if this meeting does happen. I would love to watch it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Nicole? Do you think this meeting is going to happen, and do you think it's going to be resolved?
Well, I think the meeting is going to happen because, most of the world is pushing for this meeting. I don't know what's going to happen in the meeting. Yana makes a very good point that Zelensky has brought his personhood to this war, right? It's all of who he is at this point. I'm not really sure if he's ready to concede anything. And Yana's got a point there. But the truth of the matter is the dying has to stop. The warring has to stop. And at some point, somebody's going to have to put on their big boy pants and make it work. And hopefully, prayerfully, at this trilat, that's what's going to happen. That it'll come down to it and say, okay, what's it going to take, fellas? And Zelensky's, I want to be a part of NATO, and Crimea belongs to us, is not going to work. So he's going to have to come with some other things. And good guessing, I'm thinking that was the bone of contention at today's meeting with President Trump. His demands that are not flexible. There's no room at the rate that young men are dying in his nation for him to be inflexible. He needs to come to the table and kind of be open to the process at this point.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Shelley, as far as this meeting is concerned? Or do you think it's going to happen? And do you think there's going to be some type of resolve here?
I think it's going to happen. I think there's going to be a resolution. I'm not going to predict. I don't know. It could go either way, of course. But let me say this. There's ego all in that room. I'm not saying that the ego is overshadowing anything, but there's ego on all sides, or all trilats, okay? Every side of the pyramid, triangle, I should say. But the meeting will happen. And again, President Trump is going to do his absolute best. And of course, the European leaders stepping up to the plate, if you will. The fact that Zelensky showed up, Putin showed up, there is still more positive possibility than there is not.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Again, same here. The proposed Trump-Putin-Zelensky trilateral meeting is about negotiating a complex mix of security guarantees, territorial issues, ceasefire versus peace deal approaches, prisoner exchanges too, Ukraine's NATO EU path, and sanctions. So it's a lot. There's a lot there that needs to be kind of, decided and figured out. So I don't know. I definitely think I agree with you ladies that the meeting will happen, but we got to figure out whether or not this is actually going to come to be some resolution in this meeting. So I pray that there is one because, again, this needs to be resolved. It really does. It needs to be resolved. Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, KJ. At some point, again, this war is going to have to end. Neither one of these nations are in it for a 50-year war or any of that kind of foolishness. I'm very prayerful that cooler heads prevail. And I'm thinking that probably the reason why this meeting today went along with Zelensky is because, he still thinks that Joe Biden can help him, that he'll come in and demand what he wants and pitch a temper tantrum and get it. That's not going to work with Trump. It's just not going to work with him.
Nope, not at all. And, it's not just Trump. He's got a bunch of junkyard dogs in his cabinet, like Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Yeah. And wow, these guys are superstars and they are here for America first. And they're not having any of this stuff. That brings us to this next clip of Marco Rubio over the weekend with Kristen Welker. Now, this, of course, was prior to today's historic meeting, but he put the smackdown on her after her attempts on these gotcha moments with playing a previous clip of him from 2022. Take a look. This is clip one.
Terry, I want to play something you said about President Putin. This was right after the invasion in March of 2022. Take a look.
This guy lies, habitually lies. He's never kept a deal he's ever signed, and he lies all the time. And I don't know why, but he plays us like a violin in the West, because the West wants to believe that you can cut a deal with everybody. You can't cut a deal with guys like this. He's a professional, experienced liar.
Mr. Secretary, given that, what makes you think that if you are able to reach a deal with President Putin, that he would stick to it, based on, as you just said, he's a liar?
Well, that's the point. That's why the deal has to have enforceable mechanisms in it. That's why the deal has to have things like security guarantees. That's the point I was making a few minutes ago when you were asking me about looking someone in the eye. What's important here is actions, not words, not paper, document. Those are all important. Those are elements of a deal, but they have to be enforceable. They have to be verifiable. They have to be enduring. There's no point here in signing a deal that's going to be violated in 3 or 4 months. There's no point in doing that. It actually would make things worse. So that's why this is such a difficult thing. Not only do you need a deal, you need a deal that's verifiable, that's enforceable, and that's enduring. If you don't achieve that, then I think you could have a ceasefire for a few months, a few weeks, and then the war will start again and more people will die. That's not the outcome we're interested in. That's not the outcome anyone wants. So that's why this is so difficult.
All right. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, thank you so much for joining us after an historic week. We really...
Wow. All right. True professional there. What do you think? Oh, wait a minute. Yana's shaking her head. What are your thoughts on that exchange, Yana?
What is he talking about? Putin lies. I mean, when you say something like that, at least give a few examples. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I'm curious. What is he referring to? When we're talking about this particular conflict, first of all, when it comes to NATO, and when Russia signed a deal signed an agreement back in like 1990 about NATO non-expansion, that was not abided by NATO. Also, when the Minsk Accords were being signed by the European leaders and Russia, it was the European leaders that even said later that they didn't even intend to abide by the peace treaties that they have signed. So east of Ukraine would not be bombed, would not be harassed by the Ukrainian government. And they continued to militarize Ukraine even though they agreed with Russia that they weren't going to do it. So what is he talking about?
I think he is talking about the Minsk deal. So that was under Putin's leadership, and he repeatedly violated those. According to
How?
he agreed to ceasefires, and didn't agree and didn't sustain them. He attacked. He posted attacks in Donbass.
Putin attacked Donbass?
Yeah, I'm looking here based off of the Washington Post. So Russian-backed forces continued attacks in Donbass with documented
Donbass seceded from Ukraine. Donbass was a Russian ally, you would say. How was Putin attacking his own people? That makes no sense. Donbass and Russia were allies.
So was it?
Go ahead.
Was it okay? Let me word it this way: was it more that Putin backed the insurgents, if you will? I'm going to use that word for Donbass to Russia. Again, we're not here to litigate whether or not Putin owns Donbass or the region. We do know over the years Putin is a KBG. He is not God. Okay, he can be criticized.
Well,
he has done wrong. We know
Marco Rubio. So Marco Rubio needs to be more clear when he's accusing Putin of something like that.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Okay, so as Shelley said, I mean, I honestly don't know the details within many of these skirmishes. Maybe Marco Rubio should have detailed what he was talking about. Now, keep in mind, the first video that they played was from a past statement he made prior to all of this. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then of course they brought it back to over the weekend when he was responding to those previous statements. But as we know, Putin has not been an angel. He has lied about certain things. I'm willing to bet my life on that. Okay. So,
I stake my whole career like Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Not your whole career.
Right. So, I mean, we're not going to sit here and say that Putin has been an angel and he hasn't lied about certain things. He hasn't kind of played dirty in some of these tactics. Okay. He has. The bottom line is, and this is what he was saying. He's saying that, in the past, agreements have been made. They have not been lived up to on probably on all sides, but he's particularly speaking of Putin on this side, and probably because these agreements were not enforced well. This is what he's saying. So there needs to be a way where when they do these negotiations, there are harsh penalties if you don't on all sides, if you don't agree to these, if you go past these agreements and don't live up to them. That's all he was saying. I mean, Nicole, what are your thoughts on this?
So two things. One, I love seeing the progression of Marco Rubio. I love seeing him looking more and more presidential every time he's on TV. This was a masterful interview for him. She had it all queued up. She thought she had him over a hot coals, showing the old video saying, aha, look at you, young Marco Rubio, putting both of your feet in your mouth and wiggling your toes around. And he didn't miss a beat. He bashed her over the head with, right. And that's why we need parameters. We have to have parameters, just like all the rest of these peace deals. There has to be measurable progress and there has to be compliance on both sides in order for us to push forward. He completely took what she was trying to bash him with, cooked it and gave it back to her on the plate while she sat there and looked stunned. That was the most impressive thing about that interview. Marco Rubio is growing up in front of our face. Everybody say JD's got next. I don't know. Look like Marco's going to give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
And just like, just like in that clip, Marco Rubio said Putin lied, but he also this year or this weekend, that's why you have to have stringent criteria for these agreements. Zelensky has lied. Everybody has lied at one time or another, a state leader, regardless of whatever your position may be for him or her. So this is why you have to have those agreements that are pretty much ironclad with all the provisions, everything dotted and crossed as they're supposed to be. If Putin was not a liar or Zelensky or whatever, then there would be no reason for an agreement. We could just take him with a handshake.
Yeah, I mean, again, I am not, well versed in Russian, American or Russian history as far as this is concerned. And I encourage people to research it. I've done some research, and again, like I said, I have here in Istanbul in 2022. This was early in Russia's 2022 invasion. Turkey mediated talks in Istanbul, where Ukraine proposed neutrality in exchange for security guarantees. Russia suggested reducing military activity near Kyiv and Chernihiv. A draft agreement, the Istanbul Communique, outlined a potential deal with Russia, claiming progress. However, Russia announced a goodwill gesture to de-escalate around Kyiv on March 29th, 2022. You guys look it up. But the Bucha massacre, revealed days later with over 400 civilian deaths, showed Russian forces committed atrocities during this period.
Lie. That was a lie too. That was a provocation, and it's
well, that's what Putin later claimed. Ukraine
propaganda. Yes, it was because
under Western pressure abandoned the near final
exactly. And wasn't there the UK Prime Minister also went to Kiev at some point to basically convince Zelensky not to have peace talks.
Well, they're saying here back in the UN, there were UN investigators who showed executions predating Russia's de-escalation claim. So a 2022 Reuters report, you guys check this out, cited Ukrainian negotiators who said Russia's team, led by Vladimir Medinsky, made promises that were not honored. So, I mean, again, these are just some things. There's several things there that are outlined here.
This conflict is going to end one way or another. It's either going to end with the Zelensky conceding and Europe stepping back and America not sponsoring the conflict anymore, or it's going to end when Russia takes all the territory that it claims, and then it's going to end.
I don't think those are the only two choices, but nevertheless, we can move on. I think there's a whole some choices in between, which is why, hence, we're going to have these bilateral and trilateral meetings.
Well, we will see. Again, we do pray for peace. We pray for some type of negotiation and the end to this war. All right, folks, as you guys come in, please hit that like button. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience, and subscribe if you haven't done so. What are you waiting for? We need that. It helps to build a community here of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. So stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right. Want to just play one more clip on this. Again, this is Marco Rubio just going in on the media, this time where they're trying to say that President Trump was going to bully Zelensky again, and this is why they needed all of the European leaders. This is clip 2.
There is concern from the Europeans that President Zelensky is going to be bullied into signing something away. That's why you have these European leaders coming as backup tomorrow. Can you?
No, it isn't. That's not why they're
them?
Coming as back. That's not true. No, but that's not that's not true. They're not coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're not coming.
February Oval Office
they're coming here tomorrow
in front of television cameras where President Zelensky.
Do you know how many meetings we've had since then?
Oh no, I know, and I was just up in Alaska watching the one with Vladimir Putin where a red carpet rolled out.
No, but
with
Zelensky. We've had more meetings. We've had one meeting with Putin and like a dozen meetings with Zelensky. So, but that's not true. They're not coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're coming here tomorrow because we've been working with the Europeans. We talked to them last week. There were meetings in the UK over the previous weekend.
And they said President Trump was going to demand a ceasefire
as early as Thursday. No. But you said that they're coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. They're not coming here tomorrow. Oh, this is such a stupid media narrative that they're coming here tomorrow because Trump is going to bully Zelensky into a bad deal. We've been working with these people for weeks on this stuff. They're coming here tomorrow because they chose to come here tomorrow. We invited them to come. We invited them to come. The president invited them to come.
Wow, what a disgusting narrative she was trying to push there. There was no question either. It was just some insinuation. And then she tried to continue to push it until Marco Rubio pushed back. What are your thoughts on that exchange, Nicole?
Which that's what they do. They make a statement like it's fact, and then they say respond to the fact. And I love that Marco pushed back. I was like, what the hell? This is stupid. This is not any of what's happening. When I tell you I've loved the growth of this man in front of our very eyes, the chat is right. S-Files, SpongeBob. Listen, I'll take a JD Vance, Marco Rubio ticket, and maybe Tulsi up to Secretary of State. I love that we have these choices. I love that we have all of these strong people who are growing into these positions. Marco called her out to her face again. I don't even know why she tries it with him. I don't even know why she tries it. He cleans her clock every single time. Every single time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yana, what are your thoughts on that exchange?
Well, yeah, that lady's comment was very ignorant, very uneducated. Where did she even get this idea that they were there, the Europeans were there to bully Zelensky together with Trump? Like, it's totally opposite. They were there to protect Zelensky from Trump.
Well, that's what she was saying, that
Yeah,
they were coming to make sure that Trump wasn't going to bully Zelensky. But can I tell you that all of Europe could have come? They could have brought the entirety of their populations. And
Well,
Trump
then maybe I agree with her.
Wanted to do. Let me make no mistake. The EU is important in the EU, but here under the stars and stripes, baby, we don't have that to do. We're not.
I do think that they were there because Zelensky cannot hold his own.
What are your thoughts on that, Shelley?
Okay. First of all, Marco Rubio was right. I said the same thing. This was a stupid comment she made, number one. Number two, nobody, no dignitary can bring their ass into the White House unless the president and his administration invites them. So whether or not they come in, people think that they're going to be saving or protecting Zelensky. No. Like Marco said, those people were invited, number one. Number two, they are showing the European, I don't know what the word is, solidarity, whatever you want to call it, unity. That's what they're there for. Again, Europe is as much affected by this war in Ukraine as any other country or any other continent would be, if you will. So that's all bullshit from this woman, and Marco corrected her. And number three, Zelensky does not have to be protected from Trump. Trump is not bullying him. Trump is not beating him. Trump is actually, maybe to some degree, teaching him how to stand up, present yourself at the table like a man, work out the deals, good, bad, up and down. That's what Trump is doing. Because some people may or may not like Zelensky or may not like Putin, who cares? Who cares? Again, they are all at the table with those European leaders, showing their support, if you will, their backing for the talks, and certainly they are standing with President Trump. And the last thing, KJ, I'm sorry. I love the fact that President Trump, his administration, he is supporting them. He's, like you said, Nicole, they are growing into their own, if you will, their own administration, their own style. And President Trump is there to back them up in that as well. He's encouraging it, he's supporting it, and he lets them do their job. That's all this is, getting the job done. In my never to be humble opinion.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if they were there, the EU leaders were there to protect Zelensky from Trump, they did a horrible job. I mean, the entire time.
I agree that that's why they were there.
If you watch the entire meeting, the EU leaders were kissing up to Trump the entire time. They couldn't stop, giving him compliments and telling him how much of a great leader he was. I mean, if they were there to somehow protect Zelensky, I didn't see it. It didn't come across that way at all.
I mean, like I said earlier, that's the feeling I got, is that the reason why they were so nice to Trump is because they wanted to pull Trump to their side. I think they are terrified that Trump is siding with Russia.
It's an interesting point of view, especially considering Trump is squarely on the side of the United States. He has long.
But Europeans don't understand it. Europeans are tribal people, and they think that there has to be alliances every time. They do not like powerful nations.
Right.
They're tiny countries. That's why they banded together, because they're afraid of everybody. They're afraid of Russia and they're afraid of the United States. And they're terrified that Russia and the United States will actually have a good relationship.
Well, I think that is a terrifying thought for all of Europe, because there's a lot of history.
A lot of history of Europeans attacking Russia. That's what it is.
Well, not only Europeans attacking Russia, but lots and lots of war that has happened across Europe, right?
Because of whose fault?
But that has nothing to do with the United States. Let's focus. Again, Trump is our president. He is not presiding over any of these other little foreign nations.
I'm talking about Europeans and why they behave the way that they do.
Here's the bottom line when it comes to Donald Trump. His alliance is squarely here with the United States. He's trying to bring peace because peace is good for guess who? The United States. It absolutely does us good. Now, if the European Union wants to keep paying us to give Zelensky weapons, we'll happily take their money. This is an exchange for us. We don't have a dog in this fight. We don't. They can fight it out till everybody's bloodied and blued, and the United States does not have a dog in that fight. It is not our war. And he's made that abundantly clear. He is not Joe Biden. We're not moral sympathetic. We're not doing any of that. This is not our dog. This is not our fight. However, he would like to bring peace. He wants to do that. That means everybody comes to the table. The Europeans want to wait over here and throw their hat behind Zelensky. Let them. They can kiss Trump's butt from here to across the street. And this man is still not going to budge. What's important to him is the United States of America. That's what's important.
Yeah. What do you guys think in the chat? Sound off. Do you agree with the lady on the interviewers with
Margaret
that
Brennan.
was talk? What was her name?
Margaret Brennan.
Margaret Brennan. Do you agree with Margaret Brennan? She said that the EU leaders were there to protect Zelensky from Trump. Or do you disagree and you agree with Marco Rubio? And he said, no, that's not the case. They were invited there and there was nothing to protect Zelensky from. So we were trying to come to an agreement with everyone involved. Sound off in the chat. All right. So speaking of President Trump, once again, he's taking the lead on an issue millions of Americans care about: election integrity. This week, he announced a new movement to end mail-in ballots and voting machines, saying he will fight like hell for honest and fair elections. While the left cries about threats to democracy, conservatives see this as a necessary step to restore trust in our voting system. Take a look at this next clip. This is clip 5.
Pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that and how important
Well, that's a very off-topic, just really quickly. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad. I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question.
Absolutely. This is one of the issues at the top of my list when President Trump got elected. And you guys know, who have watched us for a very long time, I have been furious about mail-in voting ever since we had the scamdemic COVID lockdowns. There have been countless irregularities in states that have expanded mail-in voting. For number one, it takes forever to get the outcome of an election. Shelley, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree we need to get rid of this crap?
Oh, absolutely. Prior to the scamdemic, most mail-in or early vote, or most mail-in voting took place in the Western hemisphere of our country, mostly due to the geography or the landscape, if you will. That's the best. And also, of course, military has always had the ability to mail in their votes. That's fine. Then we saw this creeping, early voting, and then the timeline keeps expanding a whole damn month or 2 months. Mm-hmm. To early vote. I used to be on the board of elections. It literally took us some 2 weeks or more after the election day to count all of those mail-in ballots or early ballots, whatever form they were. And I mean, like 2 weeks or more to get an actual count, a correct account of the vote. This should not be. Black people, you think this is all easy or whatever. Your people, since you are, you were brought here and all of your people, you've built this country. Well, so did your ancestors. They fought for you to go vote. Look at these old pictures of our ancestors standing in lines longer than a city block to vote. People with tattered rags on, with their children. Some of them dressed up a little more a little better, but they were proud and honored to actually cast their vote in hand. I vote in person. And I love to go in there and vote because I like to go in there and wear stuff that they can tell me I can't, just to start them and get them started. I know I do stuff like that, but but we need to stop it because it's getting ridiculous. It adds for more opportunities for corruption, for lying, for cheating, for stealing. And I think it was Hugh Hewitt, his book, If It's Not Close, They Can't Cheat. We need to show up at the polls and cast your vote.
Absolutely. Nicole, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you support this push to end mail-in ballots?
Oh, absolutely. I think the only people who should be able to vote by mail are soldiers who are overseas serving. That's a whole different question. But this election season, like Shelley is saying, we no longer have an election day. We've got like an election month. Here in Maryland, they have people who signed up to have permanent paper ballots, mail-in ballots sent to their home. When we start thinking about what can go wrong, case in point, my nephew Khalil finally, thank you, Jesus, graduated and moved out, right? So that was probably 4 years ago. I still get ballots for him, even after I've told them repeatedly he no longer lives here. He lives in Ohio. He votes in Ohio. I still get ballots for him. Wow. It'd be easy enough for me to cheat and send it on back, right? When things like that happen, when people move, and some people don't ever change their voter registration, they just pick up and move and sign up wherever they're moving to, it leaves the process open to people who don't mean the election any good, people who are bound to cheat, people who are looking to gild the lily. But the problem we're going to have with this whole thing is that so many states have dug in so deep with it, like Maryland, with the permanent mail-in ballots. It's gotten to a point now where people actually think that, voting, you just check a few boxes and drop it in the mailbox and it works. Well, what happens after you drop it in the mailbox? I live in a rural area. If it rains and our mailboxes blow open, all of those ballots are blowing down the street. If we drop it off in a drop-off box, some yahoo's going to pour something inside the drop-in box. There are so many things that can go wrong. We need to have one day to vote. No, none of this early voting, none of this same day registration foolishness. We're all adults. You should be able to register to vote. You can do it at the DMV, the MVA, whatever your state calls it. Get registered, show up on election day, wait in line. You'd be surprised who you're going to meet, your neighbors, your children's teachers, all of that. It's a community event on that one day. It shouldn't be damn 45 days. It should not. And you should not get any paper in the, maybe a sample ballot. That's about it, but not an actual ballot. We have got to get real serious about election integrity.
Absolutely. Yana, I mean, what are you, the Democrats are against this. What are your thoughts?
Well, because they succeeded in lying and fabricating the elections in 2020. So of course they're against this because they don't know how else to win. And yeah, it's terrifying that people can just pick up someone else's voter registration and go vote. Like, for example, in Maryland, they don't check IDs when you go vote. Like, it's terrifying. It's so, when I first moved to Maryland and I came to vote and they didn't check IDs, it was so unsettling. And also, if you guys have seen just the other day, some council member Abu Musa in what is that, Hamtramck, is that in Michigan? He was stuffing in Dropbox with ballots, with absentee ballots.
Wow.
Just when was this? This was well, it's posted today, but I think it happened the other day.
Was it at their, I think it was at their mayoral election where he was caught jamming the ballot box. But that's what happens when you can. I mean, when you can print a ballot for Joe Blow, who probably, especially if you know who the low propensity voters are, if you know, Susie Jane never votes in midterm elections and you happen to be at that community mailbox, Susie going to be short a ballot, and you're going to mark it and send it back. And who's going to stop you? Who's going to check you, boo? No one. This is why we just simply cannot continue at this pace. You would think the Democrats would be more willing to come to the table with this because, after the whole fiasco in November, the stuff in the ballots didn't work anymore. We made it too big to rig. We had people showing up, waiting online, peacefully, having a good time. It's not working anymore. So they're going to have to try another dirty trick.
Oh yeah, but this is another example of how we know the Democrat Party has been taken over by Marxists. This whole idea of mail-in votings, voting month, not voting day, all of this is a way to centralize control of elections. And Marxism thrives on centralizing power in the hands of the state. So mail-in voting allows Democrats to bypass local election integrity safeguards and then shifts the control to bureaucrats, unions, and party-aligned organizations. They all they want to do is sow chaos and undermine our institutions. We talked about this. This is a goal they had back in the 1940s. They put a whole list of goals to tear apart the United States. This was one of them. And widespread mail-in ballots erode public confidence in elections, which opens the door for Democrats to argue for federalized elections, a Marxist-style power grab. This is what it is, folks. We cannot let them do this. We cannot. And I think this is actually one of the most important agendas of President Trump's term. He has to get rid of this mail-in voting, get rid of this election year. I mean, my goodness. In Maryland, they start the you can vote like a whole month before election day. It's ridiculous. It is this early voting. And honestly, in my lifetime, my entire lifetime before COVID, you knew who won the election by the end of the night. Now, since they've started this mail-in voting crap, this early voting by 30 days previous, we don't know the turnout of these elections until days later. It is ridiculous.
Months
it doesn't
later,
make sense.
Yeah. Months later. Remember the hanging chads?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Remember Florida and the hanging Chad. It's remarkable that the president has someone writing, or a group of someone's writing this executive order. I think it's going to spur a lot of thought. Remember when I said about him not taking his foot off the gas, just to continue to press, since we've got them, on their back foot, don't take your foot off the gas. This is what this is. This is a constant barrage of just pounding them with conservative values and hitting them over the head with it. They don't know what to argue about first. They're still mad about the redistricting. We still got Texans wandering about in Illinois. Now this whole thing where Trump is saying, no more mail-in ballots. You're going to see Democrat heads explode across the entire country, and it's going to be wonderful. Gavin Newsom is going to need cardiac help, Shells. He's going to have a stroke. He is going to need a 2D echo to make sure he's going to be okay. He is going to have a whole hissy fit because California, much like Maryland, loves them some mail-in voting. It is a thing. It is a thing.
I hope he has diarrhea for the whole month of November. And he's got an itch that he just can't scratch. Okay. That's how annoyed he gets with this, because I hope it passes. I believe President Trump is going to put in an executive order, but I really pray that they codify this stuff into law. And so, folks, we will keep you updated on this. All right. So, and speaking of how these Democrats hate law and order, they hate following the rules, takes us to Rhode Island. Here we go again. Another Democrat official who thinks the law doesn't apply to them. This time it's Rhode Island's very own Devin Hogan Flanagan, a special assistant attorney general. We had one here who thought she was above the law. This time she was arrested after a drunken scene at a restaurant in Newport. And it's a shame. I love Newport, Rhode Island. But instead of acting like the prosecutor she is, she screamed, "I'm an AG. I'm an AG. Oh my God, I'm an AG." It was so annoying, you guys. It was so annoying. And the cops had his restraint throughout this. He should just get a medal for that. Take a look at this next clip. This is clip 3.
I want you to turn your body cam off. Protocol is that you turn it off. If a citizen requests it to turn it off, she's a lawyer.
So they want you guys to leave?
Yes, we're gonna
Let's just leave. Let's just make it easy, okay?
We're gonna make it easy.
No,
that's not.
I am. Okay. I'm her husband.
That's not the point. Can you look at me?
We'll talk over here, okay?
Your protocol is.
Can we all talk? Can we all talk? We'll talk over here. They want you to leave.
Your protocol is.
Can we talk? Who is she to you?
What's that? No,
Who is she to
nothing.
you?
Nothing.
She is our college friend. Okay. She's a friend. Yes.
No, I'm not.
You guys just want him out? Do you want him trespass? Anything we can do. Yeah. Trespass, yeah. I just need trespass. Get him out.
So to give you guys a little bit of backstory here, the officers responded to a disturbance at Clark Cookhouse in Newport. Flanagan and her friend refused to leave after multiple requests. So what we're seeing here is the restaurant called the police, and the police have asked them over and over again to move on. They must leave the premises. And you see this so-called AG and her friend, AG Flanagan, trying to tell the police how to do their jobs. We'll get back to it. Here it is.
Please.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Do we want to chat?
I know that your protocol is.
So you're trespassing, so we got to leave now. Unless you want to be in there.
We're not trespassing. You haven't notified us that we're trespassing. Number one.
What did I just say to you? You're trespassing. Let's go.
Number one.
I don't
want
to arrest you guys.
You're not going to arrest us. Number two.
So let's leave. We got to go. We got to go. Let's go. Let's go.
Calm down for 1 second. Is if we ask you to turn the body cam off.
I don't want to deal with this. Let's
okay.
go.
No. I understand you don't want to deal with it, but the protocol is, and your protocol is if I ask you to turn off the body cam, you have to turn it off, and that's your protocol.
She's a lawyer, so she knows.
Well, that's lawyer stuff, so that's not true. So we got to go.
No, it is. That's law.
I'm an AG. I'm an AG.
Good for you. I don't give a shit. Let's go. We're going.
So let's play a drinking game, folks. How many times she says, I'm an AG. I'm an AG.
Protocol is.
Right. Every time she says, I'm an AG, you get a drink.
Excuse.
We're leaving.
Please don't put your hands on us.
Can you get your children out of here? Like, I don't know why.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on, there are two full-grown women and mothers. All right. You just need the tank. You just need the tank.
I'm an AG.
What's wrong with you?
What are you probable cause to detain me for?
You're being detained because you're not leaving.
Because I'm what?
Can you relax? Sir, she's not doing anything wrong. She's not leaving.
I'm an AG.
She's the AG. So you guys are drunk by now, right? Because she said it like 7 times. What is wrong with these people? I'm an AG. I'm a drunk AG. What is wrong with these people? All right, here we go.
Honey, you're not. She's not being arrested. Let's go.
I'm not being arrested. You're putting me in cuffs. I'm not being arrested.
Do you have any weapons on you?
No. I'm an AG.
Her badge is in the car. You want to go get a badge?
Let me tell you something. You're
Buddy,
arresting.
get the hell out of here. Buddy, just seriously.
You're arresting an AG. Let me tell you something.
Are you under arrest right now? No.
You're putting me in handcuffs and you're Mirandizing. You're not Mirandizing me.
Relax.
Buddy, you're gonna regret this.
Yeah.
You're gonna regret it. I'm an AG.
See,
that's my favorite part. That is my favorite. You know, he felt that in his soul when he slammed that door. He's like, oh my God.
Right. It gets better. It gets better, folks. This is about to really take a bad turn. Take a look.
Take your hands off me.
We will get the license.
Hands off me.
We will get the license. She's getting the
No.
No. Get the license. Get out of here. Get back right now. Get detained.
No.
Get back. Your cuffs. Yep.
I'm right here. It's okay.
All right, just go from the car.
No, I'm right here. I'm right here. Come on, babe.
I never understand why people resist. Why is she acting this way? Do you think it's the alcohol, or you think it's just this is the attitude here? Like, you know, you can't do this to me. I'm better than you. I'm above the law.
Are you waiting for an answer?
Yeah, once somebody answer, yeah.
Okay, let me take a little guess, and somebody's not gonna like me, but listen to what I'm saying. The human body, your natural physiology or your physiological response is to resist danger, whatever the danger is perceived. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm agreeing with them. I'm just saying it's an autonomic response, basically, right? That's number one. Number two, the alcohol does play a huge deal in this particular scenario. That's it.
And her entitlement. I mean, how dare they touch her? How dare they interrupt her good time? You can't put me out of a restaurant. I'm here with the AG. Are you serious? And my husband, he better hold my bag and shut his mouth, because I'm the one in control of this, not you officers, and not him either. This is what she's doing. I'm waiting for them to tase her.
It's the entitlement. And because the police were actually talking to them first, and they were told to leave. So if you're terrified, if you feel afraid, you leave. No, they were not feeling afraid. They continued to resist the entire time because they feel entitled
and empowered to do that. Because they've got the nicest cops in the world, the nicest police officers trying to work with them.
Yeah, honestly, to me, there's two types of people in this world, folks. It's a nasty drunk and a fun drunk. These two right here are nasty drunks, okay? It's only two. You always know which one you are, okay? There's a nasty drunk and there's a fun drunk. Okay. And these two here, they're the nasty ones. I feel sorry for the husband because he couldn't even control these shrews. All right. Here we go.
No. Stop.
All right. Babe, I'm right here.
No,
right
babe, please, I'm scared.
I'm right here.
Please, up to this. Please,
I'm
up
right
to
here.
No, I'm not going to find my back.
I'm right here.
No.
Okay.
No, please, I'll do this to my friend.
I'm right here.
No,
right
no,
here.
no. Babe.
I'm right here.
Babe.
I'm right here.
No, babe.
Relax.
No,
Relax.
What's wrong with you?
Relax.
We don't want to put you in handcuffs. Let's go. Let's go.
No, babe.
Listen, you're overreacting.
You're adding charges.
You're overreacting.
No. Please take my hands up. Please take Kevin out of handcuffs. No, please take
You were overreacting. You didn't have to have this happen. Get in the car.
No. Babe, no!
You got two to
Oh
take.
my God.
Get in the
No!
car. Just put her in.
No!
Get back, bro.
Oh, wow.
Get your feet in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Get your feet in the car.
Get your feet in the fucking car. Babe, I'm right here.
Oh, wow.
Get your feet in the car.
Who the fuck are...
Get your feet in the car. You're a grown adult. You're acting like a kid.
Yeah.
Dan!
Babe,
Wow.
I'm right here.
No! Who the f*** are you? This is so inappropriate! You're overreacting!
Oh my God. Wow. Okay.
Can I say, if that was my man and I was acting like that, guess what he would have done? He would have said, "Put her ass in there." He would have shut the door. He would have said, "Put her ass in there." I can't believe you act like this. Put her in there, officer. That's what he.
Oh, I wouldn't have been able to do that. There is no way that my husband would have been there and I would have been able to do that to the police. This man is a wimpy, just weak man. Okay, you could tell she runs everything. Yeah, ain't no way I would have acted that way. He would have handled me. The police would have not been needed. This is crazy.
I don't know, you guys. Let me say this. Maybe this guy is smarter than we're giving him credit for. If this is the way she acts when she drinks, maybe he wanted her picked up so he could go out and have a drink on his own and not have to deal with that screaming shrew. I mean, what in the world is going on?
She started to hiss too. She started hissing
like a wild animal, you know? Again, I would have lit her up. This is why I could not be a police officer. I would have shocked the hell out of him early on.
I would have been number one. I would have been too scared to act like that. Number one, in front of our man. It just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane.
The cops were so nice to them, way too nice. You know, if you heard in the beginning when he was he was detaining the first lady, the AG. He even said to her, "I'm not arresting you." He was actually trying to do her a favor to just move her out of that situation and then, I guess, release her somewhere else where she's not going to cause trouble. And they just escalated. So the police were actually way too nice to them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same as I think it was you, Nicole, said I would have tased her till her toes turned black.
Absolutely. It would have been in that car. It'd be like taser, taser, taser. Zzz. Now sit up. Zzz. Get your ass in the car. But the crazy thing about it is they were very professional throughout the whole thing. AG, no AG. He did the right thing. The restaurant people wanted them gone. I can only imagine what they were like inside of that restaurant if this is the way they behave, surrounded by police officers and the general public. So thank goodness that they were gone. And you're right, KJ, they are not the fun drunks. But on behalf of fun drunks, I would like to say we would have laughed like I don't know what, watching them get beat up by the police. I would have been screaming from the street, taser. Taser.
I would have been cracking up so bad. I
We
would have
would
been
have been
crying.
laughing. We would
Yeah,
have
we
been
would have been laughing.
Yes.
Then I would have went up to the officer afterwards, and I want to say, I want to thank you for your service,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Let us buy you a drink. Come on in here.
Classic example of know your limits. Okay,
Exactly.
know your limits. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Folks, we got some super chatters here. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Thank you guys so much. All right, we have here. Okay, Sonia with a $10 super chat says, we have no choice but to try and help stop this war. At present, Russia maintains the highest number of nuclear weapons with an estimated 5,459 total warheads. All right, thank you so much, Sonia. Kung Fu CJ says she is drunk. Yeah, absolutely. Josh with a $10 super chat says liberal white women fatigue.
Yes, sir.
In this case, young and entitled as well. Normally they're 65 plus and physically unattractive. Just give them time. Right. Kung Fu CJ says, I am like taser. Yep. Taser. What is it? Tater. Yeah. Taser.
Just taser ass. That's it.
Yeah.
You just threw her in that car. I loved it.
Yep, absolutely. And another thing I just want to say before we move on is this: you can tell they have no respect for the law. So, I want to ask the audience to sound off on this. Do you want prosecutors who respect the law or ones who mock it, resist police, and scream their titles in arrogance? I mean, this is definitely the Democrat playbook. But, if we could have a little button that has the voice of Letitia James, no one's above the law. No one's above the law. That's what we needed here, because they certainly thought they were above the law. Sound off in the chat, folks. And as you come in, please hit that like button. We got to get this video out in front of a wider audience, and that helps us. The more likes we get, the more people see this video. So please hit that like button and subscribe. All right, final video of the night. We're still talking about nutty leftists, and nobody's nuttier than Joy Reid. Take a look at this. This is clip 7.
They can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. They can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU. They can lie about the history to the children. They can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king, because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
Ooh, all right. So let's get into this. To give you guys a little context, of course, that was Joy Reid. She was speaking to journalist Wajahat Ali's The Left Hook podcast, and she claimed that white men can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. She was on this, being interviewed on this podcast. So she made these remarks while attacking President Trump's plan to audit the Smithsonian. She's claiming it was an attempt by white men to clean up history and erase slavery's legacy. So let's talk about this. We kind of talked about the Smithsonian and the wokeness within the Smithsonian and CRT and things like that. But what do you think about the comments she made, Nicole?
It's gross, and we've come to expect that from her. It is morally repugnant. She is bankrupt as a human being. She lacks character. She lacks truth and honesty. And the reason why they keep having her on these very liberal-leaning podcasts is because she does have a certain subset of people who believe this drool that she's spewing. We're at a point now in 2025 in the United States where we have a choice to make. Do we want to move forward as one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all? Or do we want to stay a bunch of fractured people? Because I'm black, I own this, this, and this. And because you're white, you own that. Who wants to live like that? Who wants to live in Joy Reid's version of America? Nobody wants to live like that. Hell, truth be told, she didn't even want to live like that. Y'all remember when she got fired? She cried a river for all her white castmates and all these other people. It's really a shame that she's using race to impact politics. But again, the people who watch that show, they're just drinking the Kool-Aid. When we talk about people being drunk and watching podcasts, this is what this podcast is for. She's talking the stuff that the Democrats dream about saying publicly, but they would never dare. And she thinks because her skin is brown, it gives her a pass on it. It does not. It is absolutely disgusting what she said. It is divisive in the worst kind of way. And she ought to be ashamed of herself, but I know she doesn't have that gene.
Yeah, absolutely. Shelley, so part of that rant she gave was talking about Elvis. So she's referencing his Hound Dog song being stolen from Big Mama Thornton in 1952. So she's saying that's what she was saying. So Thornton's version was a blues hit, while Elvis's 1956 cover sold 10 million copies and transformed it into a pop rock anthem. So Thornton was paid royalties, but critics note Black artists often received less credit or financial gain than white counterparts. What are your thoughts on that?
Elvis is still alive. Whatever. You know what? Joy has TDS. And if you open a book or a dictionary, her face will be right there for the personification of TDS. That's number one. But I did find a few things that white people invented. And I bet you Joy has partaken of at least one, maybe more of these. I think I got 3 things here. James Naismith. He invented basketball. You know, the game that Black people rule, you know, go Jordan, 23, air, and all, and Kappa nigger, whatever. You know, James Naismith invented that game. Okay. Number two, Alexander Fleming, penicillin. KJ, you mentioned earlier something about somebody having an itch. Well, thank God for penicillin, because I bet you Joy has probably had a few, and it wasn't just for a chest cold or virus or something. It wasn't. She probably had some penicillin. So thank you, Alexander Fleming. And then I wrote down here, Mr. Robert McNeil and Harmon Morse. Morse. Tylenol. Oh, that's the brand name. Acetaminophen is the chemical name. Used the world over. Thank God for Tylenol. I bet you Joy has had a few, and I know I'm going to need a few after I get off it tonight. So thank you that Tylenol, acetaminophen, has come into existence, because every time I hear Joy, a headache comes upon me.
Yeah, I mean, Yana, she was way off on this. Of course, we know white people have made significant contributions. You know, you look at technologies like electricity, cars, computers. I mean, what is she talking about, Yana?
I mean, the entire Western civilization. I mean, we don't have to keep listing these things, because what she's doing, actually, because of people like her, we still have a race issue in this country. It's because of some of comments like this that are divisive. We're trying to list, okay, who is inventing what, and you know, who is stealing someone else's culture, whatever. It's so ridiculous, and we need to stop, because the more we do it, the less this country progresses towards a better future.
Yeah, absolutely. And how about just giving everybody their due? How about that? You know, it's just like, instead of, you know, being divisive and things like this, we do know that historically, you know, there were many, I say, contributions that Black Americans made were, you know, kind of hidden, kind of put to the back burner. But this was, you know, years and years ago. Now, you know, through education, we have, you know, different classes you can take in school. And it goes above and beyond that. We've gotten to a point where we are crediting everyone, no matter the color, with what the credit you deserve. So, you know, but for her to make these statements, it was just nasty, and it was very uglier than her. And so, you know, it was just It was not needed.
And a lot of times people of different races collaborated on different
Exactly.
inventions. And that's what we should be highlighting more than what she's doing.
You know, a great American inventor is Louis Carrier, the air conditioner, right? Since this summer is seeming to drone on, thank you, KJ, for praying for hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter weather.
August is actually mild, has been mild.
Where would we be without Carrier? Where would we be with no AC? Would be unbearable. It doesn't matter to me if he's black, white, pink, or whatever. Thank God for him. Thank God for that ingenuity. Why can't we just be happy? It seems like it's not only an attempt to divide us, but she wants people to be just as unhappy as she is. She's just kind of pulling people into that dark, dank place where she is. And nobody wants to be there, Joy. Nobody. You know, you got to come outside, girl, get some sun on your skin. You're going to be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's very ugly the way that she presented this. You know, instead of putting down, you know, people who, other than black people who have made inventions, you know, she put down the white race, you know, and she lied because what she said was a total lie. How about talking about, you know, yes, we have, of course, white people have made contributions, black people have made contributions.
Everybody.
Americans.
Every ethnicity. But, you know, specifically because she's black and the way she framed this, you know, George Washington Carver, agricultural innovation, you know, Lewis Lattimore, advancing electricity, Madam C.J. Walker, we all know about her, beauty industry pioneer. So, I mean, you know, Garrett Morgan, traffic lights and safety. I mean, so there people have all types of people, ethnicities, backgrounds have come together to make America the great power that it is in the world. And the way she framed that is just so destructive and divisive that Joy reminds me of about my mother, God rest her soul. My mother would say things, you know what? You know how to F up a wet dream. That's what Joy is. That's just, you know, could you imagine just sitting there talking to her and, you know, she would just mess up a wet dream. Really. She has no, no humor. It doesn't seem like she has any humor.
She has joy. She has a joy. It's like her parents named her Joy as an inside joke. This killjoy. Right. She's like the Eeyore of media. Girl, sit down somewhere. I really need her to find some happiness somewhere and exploit that happiness for everything. You know, I don't know if she's a believer, if she's a Christian person, but God does not want you to live your life this bitter. Every day that you spend trying to break people up and drive division is a day that you could have been happy. Find some happiness somewhere.
Absolutely.
Do something that you like.
Yep. Killjoy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then if you hate white people so much, go to Africa, go to the Caribbean, go somewhere where you don't have to see many white people. But I don't know, there's not that many places that are that way now. I mean, if you guys saw the viral videos,
there are white people in Africa. And they are known to be
about to say. Yeah, and there's a viral videos going around talking about how there are black people in Scotland. So people, can you believe people didn't know that? But again, I mean, go somewhere where you can be surrounded. If really go to Baltimore City in the inner city, you won't have to see too many white people. See how happy you are there.
She ain't coming here.
No, not with all her white inventions. She's certainly not.
She's not coming here.
Pulling up with her white woman Mercedes Benz. No, ma'am. She's not pulling up with that.
We got some juveniles that'll take them ties and rims off real quick.
While she's driving, no less, right?
Right. Exactly. But this is what, you know, this is the goal. The reason why she does this is because people like her on the left view everything through the lens of race, and they want all of us to do that. It's a Marxist tool, a Marxist tactic. They want everyone looking at everything through the lens of race. And honestly, it's a miserable way to go through life. It really is. And she's going to miss out on a lot doing that. So we will continue to call people out like this. I want to acknowledge our super chatters, folks. Thank you all so much. All right, let's see here. We have Terry Bueno with the $20 super chat. Says,
Thank you,
you are
Terry.
so right, Nicole. Yep. Love you, lady. My second time getting to watch you live. Most of the time I get you lady on the replay. God bless
well,
you
thank
all.
Terry. That's very kind. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Crystal P says, can you ladies review Surrounder with Amanda Sills? Oh,
that was so good.
Yeah, it was. It was so good. Yes, we gotta do that next show. Definitely. Josh Winston with a $20 super chat says President Trump spooked the EU, NATO into making a deal. Let's get a W on peace in Ukraine. Strike a massive new economic deal with Putin and turn our attention to domestic issues. The new golden age begins before the midterms.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Josh. All right. Supreme 1996 with a $10 super chat says Joy Reid's goal is to divide and not unite. If she hates America, she can go back to Haiti. Absolutely.
She won't survive.
No, she would not. She wouldn't make it a weekend. She would not make it a weekend.
Well, she needs to go back because she hates everybody else there. So she needs to go back there. Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, that does it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you are coming in, hit that like button. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience, and subscribe. We have a goal to hit 200,000 subscribers by Labor Day. We're almost at Labor Day, folks. We got a long ways to go, so we need your help. Definitely hit that like button and subscribe. Share this video on your timeline, on your social media, send it in a DM, put it on Reddit, Getter, whatever. Get it out to your friends and family. We appreciate the support. No worries, though. We will be back on Wednesday. Now, Wednesdays, we're on live from the studio at 8 p.m. Daylight Savings Time. So definitely mark your calendars, hit that notification bell. We'll be back on Wednesday at 8 p.m. If you still want to get some conservative talk, you can check. Oh, actually, yep, that's it. We'll be back. There's no All-American Talk Show this week, folks. There is no All-American Talk Show this week. So you can see us on Wednesday.
But they can watch the replay.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely watch the replay.
They can still go there to the site, to the website. I mean, not the site. I'm sorry. What do you call it? The page. Y'all, I had my 2 glasses. That's my limit.
All right.
Go to the page, hit the like, share, and subscribe. But guess what? I'm home. I ain't out on no boardwalk causing no trouble with no police. Okay.
Well,
but I'm not
you're a happy drunk, right? You be dancing, having a good time, chatting folk up.
2 glasses are my limit. That's it. But they can go. We are at KJ. You said 200,000. Yes, we are. That's our goal. We are at, as far as I can see right now, we are at 187,000, which means we only need you all to like, share, and subscribe about 13,000 more times. Keep it going if you want, but we definitely need you to do that. Okay. I'm so glad. I always want to say thank you to our chatters and supers and moderators, our pop family. You all are so supportive of us, and we love it. Even when you disagree, even when we disagree with each other, you're there for us, and we just thank you. We can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. Well, final thoughts, Yana.
Also, I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for your comments. We definitely read them. They're very entertaining. So I really appreciate you guys. And please share our podcast with everybody you know.
Absolutely. Nicole, final thoughts.
Listen, if you guys are rocking with me and you want all this damn heat to be over against KJ's wishes,
no,
post a snowflake. I've had it. Burning up. Summer is over. Had enough. Got to get out of here, summer. Let's go fall. Let's go. Can't wait.
It's actually been a mild summer, comparatively speaking.
It has. It's so sad. I'm so sad when summer's coming to an end. I don't even want to talk about it. You guys,
we got a whole month, y'all. At least a whole month or so, right?
You know,
you hear Nicole trying to wish it away.
I wish it was December already. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
No, I've had enough.
All right, folks. Here we go. This is the end. We will see you on Wednesday. Until next time, wishing count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Bye, everybody.